Introduction to Monolith Making.
Hi, I'm Jim Warren from Omafra. In the following video, we'll be exploring the process of making a soil monolith. A soil monolith is a vertical slice of soil in its natural position.
Materials.
There are many tools needed to make a monolith, including a dolly, shovels, custom metal frame, plywood, T-bar, soil knives, and a hammer and a pick.
Frame placement.
Once the soil pit is dug, the monolith can be extracted. The metal frame is placed in the pit, and a soil knife is used to carve an outline around the frame. The monolith is to accurately represent each soil horizon, so the frame needs to be placed carefully.
Frame insertion.
The soil around the frame is now carved out until the frame can be pushed or hammered into the soil.
Plywood placement.
After the frame is in the soil profile, a plywood board is screwed onto the frame. This will keep all the soil in place when the monolith is extracted.
Monolith extraction.
A soil knife is used to carve around the front of the frame so the monolith can be pulled away from the pit. Rebar is also hammered into the ground around the monolith to try to pry it out.
Preparing monolith for transportation.
Flatten the soil so that it is flush with the top of the metal frame. Once flush, attach another piece of plywood to the uncovered side of the monolith. This will make it much easier to transport. The supplies needed in the lab include thin strips of wood, glue, spray bottle and water, brush, nails, hammer, knife, wrench, picks, pen, cheesecloth, paint, and clamps.
Secure the monolith. Phase 1.
Remove the plywood from the side of the monolith that is going to be the back. Place a thick layer of cheesecloth onto the face of the monolith and then pour a generous amount of white glue onto the face of the monolith.
Secure the monolith. Phase 2.
The piece of plywood is screwed back on. To ensure that our monolith stays in place, nails are hammered into it for support. The monolith is now flipped and the front piece of plywood is removed.
Secure the monolith. Phase 3.
A mix of water and glue at a ratio of 2:1 is sprayed onto the front of the monolith. This will soak into the soil and help keep the soil in place.
Showcasing the monolith.
The monolith is then picked with a variety of tools to remove and show the soil's natural structure. The monolith is now finished. The plywood can be painted and labeled for aesthetic purposes.
Soil monolith. Conclusion.
A monolith can serve many purposes. They can be used to display different soil series and characteristic horizons, various soil management techniques, and impacts for soil conditions. They are the perfect addition to any display and teaching exercises involving agricultural soil.